Welcome to Dad's DeFi Space. I'm Kevin, and I'm so grateful that you took a moment of your day to spend it with me, your guide to everything crypto and DeFi. Please, before we begin, remember none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own research and never, ever invest more than you can afford to lose. Now, today, we're going to take a new look at my leverage lending portfolio on Camino Finance. And we're going to discuss a little bit of strategy instead of just diving in on how to use Camino. But before we begin, like and subscribe, ping that notification bell, and check out the links below, especially Dad's DeFi Space, where you can learn crypto and DeFi. Also consider joining the private group. We're trying to grow right now. And for those who really want to up their DeFi game, check out the Underdog Investment Group, 1,500 strong, one of the best DeFi groups in this space. 20% off your first month, links below. And of course, Tangent wallets, because they're easy to use and you got to have a way to onboard retail and teach them how to keep their cryptos safe, not your keys, not your coins. But enough about that. Let's get started with today's video. Right now, you are looking at Camino Finance, which is on Solana. Camino is a lending protocol. You can also provide liquidity on a few different pairs, right? Um, right now, these positions are earning a little bit of yield. But what I really like to do is look at my lending positions. Now, first, we need to connect our wallet. And then once we connect our wallet, we'll get our lending position. Right now, my lending position has a net value of only about 12 sold. I'm very, very leveraged right now. We're earning our boost points, and for the next Camino airdrop, that'll be sweet. And I do have a little bit of Camino staked just because once you get a certain amount, you get a lot of perks and better yields on this platform. Now, so far, I've earned about 0.76 Solana in lending, and you can see my Camino staked here. But what I really wanted to look at is the positions. So right now, I have a lending position. It includes Solana, Wrap Bitcoin. That's about it. Now, what we're going to be doing here in the near is we're going to pay on some of our loan, and we're going to discuss some of the strategies we can use when working with a lending position. Now, I want to point out something first. This chart shows the net value of everything, right? What I borrowed, what I'm lending, everything. And you can see I've been on a steady downtrend. And a lot of that is because the market's been down and I mismanaged some of this position. Instead of paying down on my loans when we were at the peak, I over leveraged a little bit. We were not liquidated, but I did have to sell off some of my assets when prices were not where I wanted them to be. So, to avoid problems like this, one thing I would consider doing is clicking all three buttons on the chart so you can see your debt value, you can see your net value, and then the green right here is our collateral. So our total collateral in this position is approximately $4,000 split between Solana and Coinbase Wrap Bitcoin. So now we borrowed some Jito and we borrowed some USDC. Now today I'm going to talk about things you can do during an uptrend and a downtrending market. Now, if we are in an uptrending market, I'm going to supply the asset that I'm bullish on. That would be Solana, maybe Bitcoin. And I'm going to borrow USDC because I believe that these will go up in price. But sometimes I believe the market can go down in the short term. And right now, we're kind of in an in between stage, and we got to see how Trump's tariffs how the markets react to Trump's tariffs. So I have a small amount of Jito So. I keep this Jito So as kind of my hedge against my USDC USDC position. And what's great about Camino Finance is I can swap between the assets extremely easy. I have to pay 7% APY. I earn this 1.6 in USDCs, so you got to kind of take that into account. But if I think that Solana's going to drop, I'm going to switch some of my USDC into Jito So. And if I think that Sol's on a tear, which it might happen in the next week or two, then I'll swap this Jito So back into USDC, or I'll just swap it, pay on to the loan. It doesn't really make much of a difference. But I don't want to cover all my loan at this point because I still believe Solana is going to have a lot of price appreciation. I also want to make you aware that I would never put all of my Solana supplied into just one protocol. I am putting a good portion of some of my Solana, but not all of it. Some of it I still lock away. So I'm going to show you how you can swap between assets on this protocol, which is something you can use if you need to make changes to your Camino lending positions. So what I can do is I click USDC, either repay from collateral, or I can borrow more of this to pay off that. So what we're going to do instead is I'm actually going to repay with some of my Solana position. That puts my loan to value at 55%, which is still pretty healthy. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to learn a little bit more about crypto and DeFi. Again, check out our links below and help support the channel. $20,000 of USDT rewards with weeks. Up your DeFi game with Crypto Labs Research, Underdog Investment Group, and consider subscribing to our webpage and our channel, Dad's DeFi Space. Check us out on X at CryptoZone 1013 and Telegram at Dad DeFi 1013. Again, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.